Hey, I love this book. This book, I swear, Running Like a Girl by Alexander Hemingsley. It is the only book that has ever changed my life. I first read about this book in a book review in a newspaper, and it is the only book I have ever read a review of and thought I need to get that, and I pre-ordered it and it was waiting for me. And this was May 2012. I had always, when I was growing up, thought I'd love to run the London Marathon one day. I'd look at those hordes of people all dressed up in fancy dress costumes and so many people running around London where I grew up. I thought I would like to do that, but that's impossible. I can't do that. At school, I was always the last to be picked for any team, and it was just an impossibility. But so this book in the book review spoke to me. And I remember getting it, unwrapping it from the envelope, and I devoured it. I read it within a few days, and I don't read quickly often. And what it is, Alexandra, she talks about her journey learning to run, how she'd been a sporty child at school but had sort of forgotten about it. Her dad had run marathon after marathon, scores of them, and her brother was running the London Marathon, and her dad said to her, well, she said, I'd like to do that, but I can't. And her dad said, no, don't be silly. You can, you're just not. And so she set her mind to it, and she trained and she ran the London Marathon. And this book tells the story of how she learned to run, how she was, the first run that she ever went out of, she ran 100 meters down the road and turned around because she'd sprinted and she couldn't breathe. And it just spoke to me, and it told me all about learning to run. And I got to the end of this book, and I entered the London Marathon. I mean, it did that to me. At this point, I could barely run 5 kilometers, but through the book, Alexandra convinced me that I could run. I found a charity place. The next year, 2014, I ran the London Marathon for the first time, and that is the best thing I have ever done with myself. It is the thing I am most proud of, because I just had done no exercise my whole life, and now 5-6 years later, I'm a runner. I've run the London Marathon twice now. I hope to do it again one day. Alexandra Hemingsley is such an inspiration, and she's convinced thousands of people to run. And it's all about just telling you that normal people can just go jogging, and that's fine. It's not about all these books of people who can sprint around marathons in 2.5 hours. She's just a jogger like you and me. Running Like a Girl, Alexandra Hemingsley, changed my life. Look at this. I love Alexandra Hemingsley because she's changed my life, and so I now avidly follow her on Twitter. And this is a book, Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. Alexandra, she tweeted about it, and she just said what a brilliant book it was. And ever since then, I've wanted to read it. I haven't had the time yet, but I hear it's amazing. I think it's a story about growing up as a single girl, about friends, finding love, losing love, all these sorts of things. It's a life story. So really looking forward to getting my hands on that and finding out what I don't know yet about love, because hopefully Dolly can talk to me. Who has inspired me? I have chosen Miss Foray. I don't remember her first name. I've got no idea where she is now, but she was my teacher when I was in Form 4, which must these days be about year 1 or year 2. She was one of my earliest primary school teachers. And I just remember her being this brilliant teacher, but also just someone who encouraged us to believe anything was possible. And one of the stories I really most remember about her was in her spare time. She worked, I think, for the Red Cross or for Médecins Sans Frontières or something like that. And she would, in her holidays, go and work in medicine in frontline countries. And the story I really remember is she I think, cared for Kate Adie when she was out reporting war zones or something like that. And she was just someone who just sort of said, yeah, okay, this is cool, I can do this. And she instilled that in all of us. And there were so many teachers and so many different people growing up that have helped me to just learn to get on with what I want to do and to not worry about labels that people might put on us, be that gender or race or anything, or say, you know, you're a woman, you can't do this. But she's, yeah, really one of the earliest women that I remember helping me steer the course on the life I've led.